Hello, we are going to make our own little watershed imaginary islands, and the idea behind this project is that you get to form an actual watershed with your hands to get a good idea of the shape. Take a look at how this island has really high altitudes, really tall mountains, and then it gets lower and lower, and all of the water runs down to one river and eventually out to sea. So we start with a piece of cardboard. Make sure before you begin that your name is on the bottom. And you get a piece of salt dough. The first thing you want to try to do is flatten down your salt dough all around the edges and make sure it's no taller than an inch. And even 3/4 of an inch would be better because then nothing will scrape it off. Here I am really making sure that the edges of my island mush down onto the paper as flat as paper so that there's almost paper thin salt dough down around the edges. More mushing and more mushing all the way around all of the sides. So then I use a piece of either tin foil or wax paper and I start to crinkle my altitudes into shape. So the land formations are being formed. In this case, I used wax paper, which also makes really cool texture on the salt dough. So there's the salt dough. It's been texturized, and I also made sure that things kind of go in towards the middle like a bowl shape. And here I am pinching up around the top areas. The tallest areas are going to get a nice pinch so that I have a really clear watershed boundary. And you can see those pinched parts, and then all of the rest of the Play-Doh goes down to form a watershed. You can even use one of these sticks to kind of push in little rivers and creeks. And here's my island. So after it dries for a day or more is even better, you can get a palette of paint and a paper towel. Begin at the top by adding some white to the top portions. Then mix in a little bit of green to make a light green, and you'll go around those portions as you get lower and lower on your island. And then you're going to start to mix in some other darker greens to get lower and lower on your island, all the way down to the shore. By the time you've painted your island, now it's time to wipe off your brush on the paper towel. We haven't wiped it thus far because it's kind of good to let that brush mix the colors around. It's more natural. Wiped off my brush, painted blue around the outside, and then I added a splash of white without washing my brush. The white makes it look like the island is kind of getting some water crashing ashore. And here's my island all finished. Except for the rivers. I added rivers with blue paint. The rivers will go from up high to down low. So make sure if you're making a river, it goes from up high to down low. I thought I added one last thing.